going, everybody? Welcome back. This is the JR Wisdom channel. I appreciate you guys tuning in once again. If this is your first time checking out my channel, make sure you gently hit that subscribe button along with the bell. That way you receive all the notifications for all of my future videos. And check out some of my old ones. You may find something that you like as well. And stick around to the end. So with that being said, I'm doing this video based upon a video that I recently did about my thoughts on what a high quality man is. So it's only right for me to do that. And obviously I've gotten some emails and a comment here or there about doing the same thing as far as what I feel a high quality woman is. And I kind of alluded to it on that video as well. So I just wanted to do another disclaimer like I did previously. All of this in terms of high value is subjective at the end of the day. This is my opinion. Somebody could have a different opinion. Even you yourself could have your own opinion as far as if you are indeed a high value woman. So it can go as far as a woman basically offering a broke man a place to stay. And I'm not trying to be funny, but to him, she may be considered a high value woman. To a man who doesn't have a car and a woman's letting him drive her car, may be considered high value. It just all depends, and it's subjective. Like I said, a woman who's able to bear children can be considered high value. It's all subjective. It could be a number of things, a myriad of things. So it all depends on what the man is looking for. But if we're just talking about as far as a high value man, what does a high value man consider a high value woman for the most part, or what we're just talking about in general? And like I said, it's all hard to be specific about because it's subjective, but based upon these certain qualities, a high value man may be looking for a particular woman. And that could be from looks, that could be based upon her looks, based upon how much money she makes, based upon her success. These are all measurable things and quote unquote quantifiable, if you want to say beauty is quantifiable. But that's just another thing. One thing about beauty, and I'm just gonna put this out there, as far as the value of a woman, and some people may get upset about this. I've talked about this before. You may have heard other YouTubers talk about it. It's just the nature of the way this world is. Whether it sounds misogynistic, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. We tend to look at women's value in their beauty. Obviously, we know beauty is finite. Physical beauty is finite for the most part. It's not gonna be there forever. It's eventually gonna go away. So that just like I said previously, a man could be looking for a woman and just based off her looks, he'll consider her high value, which beauty is a portion of it a lot of times. And it's just something that comes about, and I just wanted to address that. But it is finite. It doesn't last. And if that's all that a man is looking for in a woman, or a trophy woman, or a trophy wife, or something to be on his arm, eventually that'll fade, and what happens after that? There's not much left to it. So in these cases as well, if there's nothing other than looks, then she brings no benefit or contributes at all to his life, other than maybe potentially pleasing him sexually or fulfilling his sexual desires and things like that. And beauty doesn't equal that either. So that's just something to think about. And eventually his use for her will run out. It is just going to happen. So because it's no longer suiting, or no longer suits the purpose, or just like with children, a toy gets old. And I hate to say that. So an intelligent high value man knows this. You do have some quote unquote high value men who will invest their time and resources into a woman who doesn't offer anything other than that. But that's what he finds to be a high value woman at the time, based upon the looks. So it doesn't mean that a relationship is going to last. And I had subscriber messaged me about this in reference to a relationship. You know, how does a high value woman, continue or keep a relationship going with a high value man if this is bound to happen? All relationships end for a number of reasons. Everything could be going great, so to speak, but some people grow apart for different reasons, and that's just the way this world is. It looks, you could have all the money in the world, you could be doing everything quote unquote right, but feelings change, people change every day, and just like you're changing, that person's changing as well. Some people say, and I kind of agree with it sometimes when it comes to relationships and things like that. In my opinion, a long-term relationship and marriage is about what you are willing to put up with and endure. Love and marriage are sometimes two separate things, if you get what I'm saying. And I don't want to expound on that, but there are two separate things a lot of times, being in love and being married. So in my opinion, just to get down to it, 6 minutes in, I know 6.5 minutes in my opinion, a high value woman is a woman that I find attractive. She's agreeable, feminine, intuitive, and is a helper. When I say is a helper, that means that she's not standing back when we're trying to build something together for our heirs, or trying to build something overall, or create an empire or our lifestyle to be a certain way to where we're both happy. I'm helping, it's not just her helping me, but I'm helping her. I'm not doing everything by myself. My life does not revolve around taking care of her, if that makes sense. That's what I'm getting at by saying that. She's a self-starter, and she's willing to contribute, and she's willing to help out towards that greatness for us to be great together. That's what they call us, bossing up, so to speak. You hear that term a lot of times about bossing up and things like that. But we are a team at the end of the day. It's not just me, it's not just me doing everything. It's you and me. We're working together and we're building this thing, and we're complementing each other. As a high value woman, that's my thoughts on it. That's my opinion on it. So you can have all the degrees in the world, you can have all the money in the world, you can be a 10 out of 10, a perfect dime, so on and so forth, and all these things. But if we're not working together, if we don't mesh, if it's not cohesive, then what are we? It's doomed to fail. You know what I mean? So, and I said the word, you know what I mean. So hope you get used to it. So, but when we tend, like for myself, I know there'll be some of you ladies watching this right now, and you'll say, every time a man describes a woman or what he likes in a woman or how he prefers a woman, he tends to describe a slave. If that's how you want to take it, if what I just described describes a slave, then I guess that's your opinion. That's not my opinion on what a slave is. A slave has no choice at the end of the day. You have a choice, and if you think those are slave duties, quote unquote, or that's too much work, then we don't need to be together. That's how I look at it but that's my thoughts on a high value woman. So high value, when we talk about being high value, especially with a woman, we're talking about, just like I said with a high value man, it boils down to dating and marriage a lot of times. That's what people are mostly talking about, is dating and marriage when it comes to this. And let's not confuse high value, just like I said in another video, let's not confuse high value with sexual market value. They're not the same. They're definitely not the same. It does not equal that. So, and I don't want people to get confused about that. And it's not to be confused that a woman can't do a high value woman. If you're a high value woman, it doesn't mean that you can't do as you please. You shouldn't be trapped within the confines of something, or be feeling that you have to date a certain man, or that you feel that you have to just stay with one man. If this man is not for you, as a high value woman, you know that there's, just like a man feels the same way, you know that there is another man or a potential high value man that could be right around the corner, or a quote unquote orbiter at any given time, because you know that you provide more than just what the average woman provides in terms of that. So in a nutshell, a woman who may consider herself high value, who doesn't have any assets, who doesn't come from a wealthy family, and has no desire to contribute to help build wealth or create wealth or build an empire, and it is just depending on her looks alone, it's going to fade away. I can't stress that enough. One who is dependent on their looks and their beauty alone has a very short shelf life. That's just how it is. It's not going to last, and you can spend the time, and a lot of times planning, parents don't teach their daughters this a lot of times in terms of this, to be able to set yourself up early on instead of waiting till, and I hate to say the twilight years, you're in your late 30s or early 40s, to try and find or try to become a high value woman, so to speak, in those years. Because it's a few reasons. It's not because of the selection of men, because as you know, the selection of men is not as much as you feel it should be, but it's much harder in this market for women overall, especially once you reach a certain age in the job market and as far as employment, unless you do have a booming self-employment or you're an entrepreneur at that point to be able to do that. So these are things to consider. Capitalizing off of beauty in the right way at a younger age, as opposed to basically living young, wild, and free, and then really don't have any assets or haven't planned on building any assets, and those quote unquote best years have flown by, and then you end up hitting the wall. And I hate to say that, but like I said, if I'm not telling the truth or being honest about it, then what's the point of actually doing this video or you guys watching this? So you won't be young forever, and that's just the nature of it. It's finite. Men, and it's not to be misogynistic, but men, it's not so much a beauty thing with men. It's about the man being able to lead, a high value man being able to lead, create wealth, be the woman's security, and be stable and offer all of these things. That's why a lot of older guys will date. When I say older guys, I mean guys in their 40s, 50s. They will end up dating younger women for this reason, but usually it's not vice versa. When it's women that age, they're usually they find it hard to date men their age, so they end up dating younger men who don't really have much going for them, and they end up having to take care of these younger men. It's just a fact. That's how it goes. It's one truth, so to speak. High value woman is not perfect, just like a high value man isn't perfect. Let's not get them confused. So it's just something that we have to come to realize. It does not equal perfection. You can be a scumbag, you can be a dirtbag, you can be an a-hole, all of this, and still be high value. Let's just get that clear. It has nothing. Those two are not synonymous. You can be that a-hole, that diva, that B, so on and so to speak, and still be high value. A high value individual can often be looked at as business-minded, aloof, shrewd, arrogant, maybe kind of off-putting, because they know what they want, they know what they will and won't tolerate. And that kind of, puts some people off or make them think that they may be better than them, but they just have little time for BS and they aren't going to put up with it. And rightfully so. You have the right, as a woman, you have a right to feel how you feel if you know that you're of value and you don't have to put up with anything less than what you deserve. So with that being said, those are my thoughts on a high value woman. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your comments below. I know this video may be quite controversial, but let me know your thoughts and how you feel about it. And, you know, feel free to message me if you don't want to leave it below, or if you got any questions, feel free to message me as well. If you got any topics you'd like me to discuss, feel free to comment, or any advice, same thing, feel free to email me as well. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. Peace be upon you in the mercy and blessings of the Almighty, and I'm out. Peace.